Hi guys, how's it going? This is Sean,
Demetrius.
And Nick.
all here for the football huddle. I think it's episode what, four?
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, we're back with y'all this week to talk to y'all about everything we know about football from high school to the pros. Either of y'all want to start with any of the things y'all looked into this week on high school?
Well, the article I did was about Keyshawn Cummings Coleman. He attends Coon Rapids in Coon Rapids, Minnesota. He is a 6-foot receiver. He is very explosive when you get the ball into his hands. Pretty sure we're gonna have the the film right here. But as you can see, whenever he gets the ball, it's just touchdown or he just makes defenders miss. And then currently, from the last game, he had 2 receptions for 162 yards for 2 touchdowns, and he also had 5 tackles and an interception.
That's pretty impressive.
The offensive defensive guy. It's an athlete right there.
I love it. Two-way player.
Yeah.
Someone who can just make big plays on both sides of the ball. Nothing better.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
So I'd like to talk about a kid I wrote a DIT article on this week, Joshua Woodbury. He plays for Gallatin High School in Bozeman, Montana, and he's really the leader of that defense. He led the state in tackles last year, leading again currently this year. And I wrote an article on him last Tuesday, and this weekend he picked up 2 new offers. One to Rocky Mountain College in Billings, Montana, and one to Montana Tech in Butte.
Hopefully that keeps on picking up some offers, doing good on the field. So what I wrote about this week was about Prosper High School in Texas. It's a 6A program, or division program. They've just been kind of one of the league dominants in Texas for a while, winning the championship recently in the last couple of years. They have a new head coach this year, Tyler Moore, so it's his first year. I'm pretty sure they're 2-1 when I wrote the article. I think they're 3-1 now, but just continuing to play good football and win week in, week out to some of the best competition in the state of Texas.
Have y'all seen that school, the Prosper?
I saw some TikToks
Yeah.
that opened this year, and it's insane. I've never seen a high school like it.
Yeah, their campus is huge. And I also talked to one of the players recently, Ellis Davis. I think it was 2 weeks ago, so it was on the last week episode I talked about him. But super nice guy, offensive lineman for Prosper, and they have a big group. They have a big group of 5 protecting that quarterback on that team. They just keep on doing what they need to do to get some victories.
It looks like they're doing a good job.
Mm-hmm.
And do they have any seniors? Because I know a lot of times brand new high schools don't have seniors.
So it's they have a couple of seniors, senior linemen. There's a lot of sophomore and juniors down on the team. There's not like a ton of seniors, but all the seniors who are on the team are mostly playing right now and doing a pretty good job. Like Ellis is a senior.
Okay. It sounds like you're doing a pretty good job.
Mm-hmm.
They're what, you said 3-1?
I think they're 3-1 right now. 2-1 last time I checked.
Okay. Well, I've got one more high school kid I'd like to talk about real quick that I wrote a DITR on and posted last night about Jace Eastlick. He is a long snapper for the Coeur d'Alene High School Vikings up in North Idaho. Number 7 long snapper in the country for the class of 2024. And he was offered by University of Idaho, Washington State, University of Washington, and also visited Oregon and Oregon State, UCLA, and Utah, and recently ended up committing to the Dogs, going to Seattle to play for the Huskies, University of Washington. So that's pretty cool.
Now, I feel like that's a unique position to get into, long snapper. You're just too good at regular center where they want you to throw it a little farther. I don't know. But, that's definitely good for him. He's probably going to have a blast out there.
Yeah, it's a fun school.
Mm-hmm. Long snapper. I feel like that's an interesting position.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people think it's just easy, but once you really try to see how far you're actually snapping, I feel like it's pretty
10 to 15 yards.
And that ball has to be a perfect spiral for that holder to catch it and put it down.
And then you got to have different depths of range for punting versus field goal or extra points.
It's definitely a hard position. I didn't talk about it.
He's number 7 in the country. He's working with the best long snapping coach in the world right now, Chris Rubio, and some Power 5 offers and a lot of visits. And he's gone to a really storied D1 program. They're a top 5 team in the country right now.
Yeah. Washington. That's an honor to go there, obviously.
Yeah.
I wish I got an offer from him.
Great academic school too. Great academic school too.
Yeah. I guess now I'll talk about over on Friday I went to the Madison Prep Academy versus Park Baptist game. That was a heck of a game to watch. Sitting there on the field, having it firsthand, it was definitely a really fun environment. Parkview's fans are very intense and very loud. Their student sections does come up and show up and support their team. The game was going back and forth pretty much the whole game, 14-7 at half. Parkview was up, and then continuing the scoring during the third with a bunch of touchdowns. Quarterback Abram Johnson and Landon Johnston from both teams were playing pretty well together. And it kind of got finally to the fourth quarter with about 4 minutes left, and Madison is up 1 touchdown. It's 21-14 at the moment, and they're going to go kick a field goal for a 2-possession game, which pretty much end the game. They're not going to come back 4 minutes with 2 possessions left, and Parkview came up with a huge stop and blocked the kick and got the turnovers on down. Drove it all the way down the field and scored a touchdown on the last play of the game on 4th down too, with 1 second left. And then their head coach, he wanted to go for the win, so he called a 2-point conversion. He didn't want to go for the tie. He did not want to go to overtime, and they went for the 2-point conversion play and got it. And they won. 1 second left. Madison had one play to to try to come back, and the quarterback fumbled, and they Parkview returned it for a touchdown. So it ended up being 28-21, but it was a very close game until the very end.
That's intense.
Yeah, it was definitely an intense game.
That's crazy. The game I went to out to Gonzales for Alexandria at East Ascension this week, and I mean it was just nonstop, like back and forth, like turnover on downs and punting. Because neither team could finish a drive. They'd get like into the opponent's territory, and then the drive would stall out and go forward on fourth down.
Mm-hmm.
Short and medium and wouldn't get it. And then finally, East Ascension scored with like 2 minutes left in the first half, and then Alexandria came back and scored to a 7-7 going into halftime. And then East Ascension came out and scored on the first play of the second half, like a 70-yard pass, I think. And then Alexandria came in and scored twice, once in the third, once in the early fourth quarter, and went 21-14. But I was actually talking to a guy on the sidelines before the game, the husband of the cheer coach, actually, and he said this team, you know, they're 0-3. They always start off looking good, and then late third quarter they always fall apart, and they just look defeated out there and tired. And that was true again this week, because they just were, you know, looked a little overmatched at the end there, just worn down. And it was a really physical game, though. A lot of huge hits. I mean, a couple guys went down. The starting quarterback for East Ascension actually got hurt. He threw an interception in the fourth quarter, and then came out injured for a little bit. Pretty intense game. It started off really slow, and it got good in the second half, though.
At least it was a little bit entertaining. Obviously, injuries aren't fun, but
Right.
I don't know. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
It's always fun to see big hits, but it's never fun to see the impact of them when they with the injuries and stuff.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Well, did you go again this week?
Oh no, the game I was supposed to go to, they ended up playing on Thursday. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess if that's the case, we'll just switch to college sports and talk about some college football right now. Anybody want to start with this close LSU game that happened over the weekend?
I didn't watch it, so I can't really speak about it.
It was a great game, but I just would have liked if they would have at least attempted to score a touchdown instead of just settling for the field goal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just me personally, because I know how the committee is going to just base the game just based off of, okay, they only won by 3 points, so just rank them. I don't even think, did we even move up in ranks? Just
I think us and Bama switched.
Mhm.
At least on the AP, I don't know if the coaches poll.
I think if we would have, like the difference, I think we would have moved up just a little bit more if we would have ended up scoring a touchdown instead of it just being 34-31. If it would have just been 38-31, I feel like that would have made a better difference then.
I get what you're saying. Obviously, in college, it's tough to move up when you have a loss. But you know, if you want to move up more, you're gonna have to win games bigger than by 1 or 2. I mean, still an impressive game from Jones and Neighbors. I mean, other people stepped up too. I mean, everything that was going on was. I mean, I actually didn't watch the fourth quarter because I got a little busy with some other things. But the whole thing that I saw was that we were moving the ball pretty well. And I mean, I think we look good for the future. I think we have the chance to make some teams nervous, and I hope we continue to do that. Obviously.
Yeah, I'm still scared for the Bama game, especially being in Tuscaloosa.
I was
I
gonna
can
say
see
that.
Ole Miss being a trap game too. I don't know if you can really call it a trap game though, because Ole Miss is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they'll definitely beat Florida. They'll definitely beat A&M.
I mean, this is
They
definitely
should beat Missouri next week. I mean, Missouri's not very good. They're 4-0, but other than that Kansas State game, Missouri hasn't beat anybody.
It's gonna be a tough game playing Ole Miss soon. I mean, going into the Ole Miss Stadium and trying to get a dub. This is probably the first hard away game we've had all season.
It really is, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Florida State,
yeah.
count that was tough, but we're not going to talk about that.
But apparently, it was a neutral setting in Florida.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we definitely did. This weekend will be a time to see how good we actually are, and if we can really prove ourselves to other teams in the SEC.
I'm a little scared about that defense. Jackson Dart is definitely a top 3 at least quarterback in the SEC right now, and I think he's pretty on par with KJ Jefferson. But I think Dart has a little bit of better supporting cast around him. With Quinshon Judkins and Ulysses Bentley. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that defense is just really suspect still. They're not going to be good this year. It's not that they're going to get better. It's just the personnel that they have right now.
It's all about just improving.
Yeah, they just need to get their freshmen more playing time.
Yeah, just double a lot of young players.
And cycle out some of those older players that have transferred in or haven't really started until now. But I mean, that secondary in a year or two, will be totally new and it should be better. But I'm worried about the secondary. Really.
Yeah.
I mean, that's been the whole worry this whole season is the secondary, and they played. I think they played pretty well last week. They played really good the week before after the first drive, but obviously week 1 against Florida, we could not hold them at all. Obviously, we were just letting up pass after pass, and you can't do that to win games.
I also saw they really didn't have that much of a rushing attack on Saturday. Like they went from like Josh Williams and Emery. They're kind of going more towards like Logan Diggs now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They have a lot of backs who are solid, but they don't have really anybody who stands out. And that's kind of become an issue is because they're rotating guys who come in and do the same thing, and they're going to get you 4 yards a carry, but they're not going to be really really break off any big plays.
No,
Josh
definitely.
Williams, I saw, had like a 41-yard carry, but that's like the only time they gave him the ball. all game.
It was his only carry of the game, yeah, the 41-yarder.
He was good last year. I don't know really why they kind of cycled him out of the offense. You can't tell me that like Noah Kane and Logan Diggs are that much better.
I think LSU just kind of really likes the committee aspect, and we've always kind of had a committee aspect for running back. But
Yeah.
I will say there's no like one player you know is better than the other in the committee, and I guess they haven't really figured that out fully yet.
That's fair.
They're all just on the same level.
Mhm.
No one really stands out. I mean, it'd be a little splash plays here and there, but no one really just is that consistent, you know?
Yeah. What happened to Trey Bradford after that Florida State game? He had like the really big first play,
Mm-hmm.
and like I haven't really seen him since the FSC game. Like,
I don't know.
does anyone know? Is he
I don't know. I don't have any knowledge.
Was he just there now that Emery's back? Is Emery taking a spot? I don't know.
Sounds like Emery's probably taking his spot. I mean, I feel like right now they're just trying to figure out which running back they really want to get the ball to the most. It's just
Besides Jaden Daniels.
yeah, yeah, of course.
He really is their running back 1-2 right now.
He had a great rushing game the week before. This week, I think he rushed pretty well this week too. Not 10 for 36. That's all right. It's not horrible. He's a quarterback.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the LSU game. Does anybody want to talk about the devastating weekend that Colorado had?
I think, me personally, I don't think it was that surprising that they lost. It was just surprising about how much they lost by.
Yeah, I was ready for that loss to happen at some point. I mean, obviously they weren't going to go undefeated or anything, but yeah, I was enjoying the ride when it was happening. I thought it was fun.
Yeah. I think that was my expectation that they were going to lose the majority of their games this year. They were going to be a 4-8, 3-9, maybe a 5-17, and they were going to win, some easier games, in the Pac-12 South. Like, they'll still probably beat like Arizona and ASU. They'll probably beat Stanford and maybe Cal as well.
They're definitely more
But they
impressive
were
on
good
win-wise
wins.
than I was thinking too.
But I think just this 3-0 start, them beating TCU, and then who they play week 2 before Colorado State?
I think Nebraska.
You're right, Nebraska,
Mhm.
another rebuilding program. I think that just really like inflated everyone's opinion on them and got people excited. And I think just with all the media attention that Colorado's been getting, just because they have Deion Sanders and Travis Hunter, like I'm glad to see a loss like this because it will help turn things kind of back to normal.
I think people forgot that they won one game last season.
Yeah, now you've got all these celebrities pulling up
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Boulder. Like it really doesn't feel like college football.
A little bit of a
That feels like
reality
the
check.
Super Bowl. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely a reality check.
I mean, it was bound to happen at some point, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But also, like, when you're talking about Colorado, you got to go talk about the Dolphins-Broncos game with Dolphins, just everything going right for them. 8 touchdowns to their 2 running backs, one being a rookie. Tua just having a fantastic game, throwing 4 touchdowns, 10 touchdowns total, 70 points, second most in the NFL ever scored. I don't know exactly how much yardage it was, like 700 and something. Second most also in the NFL to be gained yardage-wise, and just a complete blowout by Dolphins. And they're kind of looking scary now.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not a Broncos fan. I'm so depressed right now, but
I would definitely be missing the show right now for a sick day if I was a Broncos fan. I can tell you that.
yeah, probably me too. I'm going to come in on this week, to be honest. But I mean, Denver is 0-3. They're playing another 0-3 team this week.
Mhm.
Chicago, they should win that. Chicago is terrible. I think Chicago is the worst team in the NFL.
Some
right
says
now.
this is the worst game of the whole NFL season happening this
Just
week.
the worst best game.
so far. So
Yeah,
far.
yeah.
I mean, I just want to talk about Fields for a second. What happened to Fields from year 2 to year 3?
I mean, he's just living up to the Ohio State quarterback mantra. I mean,
Yeah.
Very true. Ohio State can produce a lot of receivers, but most people say they can't produce quarterbacks.
Stroud's looking really good.
Stroud is looking good. I will say that.
Houston
And,
could be like a dark horse, like wild card team, honestly.
and they
The receiving corps is
I was going to say
really
their receiving corps are all super young too, and they're all showing up pretty well.
Yeah, this could be Bengals 2.0.
Mhm.
You've got Robert Woods is like your Kyler Boyd, Tank Dell is like your Jamar Chase, Nico Collins is like your T. Higgins. Obviously with the rookie quarterback. And
They still have Dalton Schultz. They don't really use him that often, but that's a great tight end to have on the
they
team
really
too.
haven't been running the ball either. Damian
Yeah.
Pierce is a really good young running back. And they haven't really been
Who's
using
an
him
RB
that
too? They
much.
have
Singletary.
Yeah. I don't know if he's done anything this year either.
He's gotten a few carries, but his YPC is lower than Pierce's. Pierce is, by far the best to have
Mhm.
there. So I think Houston's going to be I would say an 8, 9, 10 win team this year.
Put them all the way at 10 wins.
and
Maybe. Weak
I mean,
division too.
It is definitely a weak division. I think their division has the second easiest schedule besides the NFC South, our division.
Yeah.
Sadly, the Saints took a loss this week in a fourth quarter comeback from the Packers after Derek Carr goes out in what was the end of the second, beginning of the third.
I think so. I didn't watch past halftime.
So it was around that time Derek Carr gets injured, a shoulder injury. That's going to keep him out probably this week, but it's a week-to-week thing. We don't.
did they ever say like what exactly is
It's
wrong
an
with him?
AC sprain.
There's an AC sprain, yeah.
So he's going to be week to week, but I bet he'll miss 1 or 2 games.
Yeah, and as a Saints fan, I'm confident in Jameis Winston. As the rest of the league, probably not. I think that he'll fill in, and hopefully for we have Carolina Tampa Bay Buccaneers next week, which that's a straight revenge game for him. So I hope he's ready to play that game and produce as well as he possibly can.
I mean, he did get hurt against Tampa
Mhm.
a couple years ago, and
former team he got injured too.
Yeah.
I think a lot of heart's gonna go into this game from him.
Yeah, it's in Tampa too.
Yeah.
So that should be, I mean, that'd be pretty crazy. No, it's at home. It's at home, I think.
That focus on. I don't really remember.
As a Saints fan, what is your biggest concern? With
Offensive line.
Yeah.
It's an easy answer. We've allowed Derek Carr to get sacked 11 times in 11 quarters, which is just unacceptable. You can't let your quarterback get hit that much. We saw what happened to the Bengals, Joe's rookie season when you get sacked a lot. Your quarterback gets injured. I mean, same with the Saints right now. Your quarterback gets injured and could be out for the season.
Joe's second year, that means that offensive line was able to hold up until the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And if he had, any better of a line, they'd probably beat the Rams.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what? Got sacked 8 or 9 times during the Titans game, that playoff run?
Yeah, and they still won somehow.
Yeah, like you can't win games when you're getting sacked. You don't obviously you don't want your quarterback to get hit that much, but defensive linemen are huge people. Like does not feel good to get hit by any of them. I can tell you that.
Was there any surprise winners from this week?
Oh, Arizona.
Everybody
they were the worst
thought,
team in the league this year.
and they go and upset the Dallas Cowboys, who found a way to become the Dallas Cowboys again.
It was not even a fluke performance. They won 28-16.
Mhm.
Josh Dobbs completed all but 4 passes. I think he was 21 for 25.
Do you think they keep Josh Dobbs playing? I mean,
Well, I don't think
since
Kyler,
week 1, they've been playing really well. He's been playing well.
I don't think
for them.
Kyler's coming back to it on Halloween-ish,
Yeah.
and I don't think he's going to be there next year. I really
You don't think so?
I don't think
I
so.
don't, because I
either.
think that the plan was
I think
always
they
to kind
did,
of
I know it
tank
was-
and go and try to get Caleb Williams.
I mean,
in
they
Green
were
Bay.
in conversation about getting Caleb Williams this whole offseason. Cardinals not favored for any game this year. They're
And
going to
if
get Caleb
the
Williams.
Cardinals fall out of the top 5, I think maybe they'll keep Kyler another year. But they're paying him a lot of money, and he really hasn't performed well. I know it looks good because he puts up a lot of fantasy points. He runs a lot. He's made some really nice throws in his career, but I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's more around that like pre-Saints Derek Carr or like that Garoppolo, or what a lot of people think of as like a Kirk Cousins or Goff type of line, like that 13 to 16 range.
I agree with you saying. I think.
I don't think he's going to win any big games.
Yeah, and I personally think it might be his mentality. I don't think he's fully there anymore. It seems like he's been kind of checked out for a little bit.
Yeah, really.
But I don't know if that's if he wants off the Cardinals or what it is. But we'll see. That's a thing that's gonna happen in the future. I mean, same with I don't know what Jonathan Taylor's situation's looking like. I haven't heard anything about that since week
Well,
1.
he's on the PUP, so he's out for at least one more game.
Mm-hmm. But like, if is he even injured? I didn't know if it
I
was
think,
a
I
stone.
think it is. I don't think it's enough to keep him out for that long, though. It's like a little tweak, and they're like, all right, well, see you in October.
Mm-hmm. You think he's gonna come back week 5, or he's gonna sit out
I think
longer?
he's going to sit out, and I don't think the Colts are going to be able to trade him because, if you guys remember, a report came out a few weeks ago that they asked the Dolphins for Jalen Waddle and a first-round pick.
Oh, they were asking for way too much.
They might be able to get maybe a third out of
Mhm.
Jonathan Taylor, maybe a late second to a contending team. And no one really needs running backs, too. It seems like nowadays every team
They're
has
becoming
like
outdated.
1 to 2 solid guys.
It's a committee thing now. There's no
really is.
one running back taking over the backfield anymore. Even Derrick Henry, you say like some of the most dominant running back in the league. He's
Yeah.
still kind of splitting carry with rookie Tajay Spears now.
Yeah. I think really the only offense you see, like one running back getting almost 100% of the carries is ETN in Jacksonville. Because
Mhm.
they don't really use Tank Bigsby or J. Michael Hasty or Snoop Connor. It's really just ETN there. But even like McCaffrey, he's been ceding a lot of carries to Elijah Mitchell.
Mhm.
Eckler.
Eckler's been giving a ton of carries the one game that they played together.
Yeah.
And Josh Kelly had
Yeah.
maybe 16 carries that game.
I mean, Seattle last year had a really good rookie in Kenneth Walker, who looked like a bell cow, 4-down back type of guy, and they bring in Zach Charbonnet in the second round.
That surprised me.
I mean,
I understand. He's a good catching back.
the
They
Browns,
do
the Browns are another team that really only use one running back, I guess,
until obviously Nick Chubb's injury, which obviously speed recovery to him. He's on it. I heard it's not as bad as everybody thought. Though it's probably 4 to 6 months,
I
but
think it's just
probably,
an MCL tear.
which is surprising after the
Yeah.
image of the look of what it looked
I
like.
think
now,
that
right?
rebuild knee helped him. I think the fact that it's already been rebuilt once
Mhm.
saved him. They say rebuild knees are stronger than natural.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
Who are your top teams in the NFL at this current
Hey,
moment?
I know what you want me to say, and I'm gonna say it. You're welcome. It's probably the 49ers. The 49ers are definitely up there as a team.
Oh, thank you.
I say they're the best team in the NFC.
I mean, Brock Purdy still has as a starter who every game that he's finished has not lost a game yet. Until then,
Yeah.
and you can't say anything bad about them. They were on a great run before all their quarterbacks got injured last year. They went on a great run to start the year. And they just have so many weapons and dynamic players on their team. It's hard to defend that.
I'd say the guy that Purdy replaced, his new team, the Cowboys, Trey Lance. They're looking pretty good too. I know they just had the embarrassing loss against Arizona, but that's one game. And Dallas always has a game or two like that every year, where they're like, well, this team sucks, they're terrible, but then they come out and they win like 10 or 11 games and make the wild card. And I know Dak gets ripped on a lot for throwing interceptions, but he just threw his first interception in week 3.
Yeah, definitely losing.
Yeah.
for him.
Definitely losing Diggs is a huge thing for that team. But I
That
feel
is
like
true.
I think a lot of people forget that when Dak was a rookie, when he was first starting, I think he had one of the longest streaks of not throwing an interception or completions. And he's in the top 5 of longest time without throwing an interception. So he can be done.
It's just a 1 year thing last
Yeah.
year. He was just trying to win games and be the hero he didn't need to be.
Mm-hmm. And now he has. I mean, Tony Pollard is so much better for that team. And then having Brandon Cooks and like Galladay and CeeDee Lamb and
Yeah,
his-
Gallup.
Gallup, yeah, it's on there.
Uh,
And it's all good targets to throw to.
yeah. How about that Jets-Patriots game? Pretty low scoring. Zach Wilson did not play well again. Not really that surprising.
If I was the general manager of the Jets, I personally would be looking for just a backup or just somebody to
Something else.
just something else to replace Zach Wilson
We
because
need Mike White back.
because
Mike White's
we
balling,
see
man.
Yeah. Two throws, 2 completions,
67 yards
and a
and a
touchdown. Can't ask for anything more than that from
How
your
about Robbie
quarterback.
Anderson with that 60
You mean the chosen one?
Robbie Chosen or Chosen
Was the chosen
Anderson?
one Anderson? I'm pretty sure he just changed his first name.
He's changed it like 4 times.
Yeah. But yeah, he did catch that long pass. I didn't realize he was on the team still. I thought he got cut.
I found out a couple weeks ago, but I thought he was more of like just like a fourth, fifth wide receiver, like just there.
Also,
Maybe a warm body. in
the
case-
one thing we didn't point out is they scored 70 points and Jalen Waddle did not step on that field for a single play.
Yeah.
That's scary.
That is terrifying.
That's scary.
That's another team that I think is scary for the NFL right now. It's tough for the Dolphins.
I think it's the Dolphins and the 49ers are the two best teams, in each conference.
I agree.
And it's even scarier that the backups were even. That's the after like what the third, fourth quarter that the backups are in. So it's not like Tua was just still in. Tua, Tyreek Hill. These are like the second, third string still implementing the offense and scoring at a high level.
Mhm.
Honestly, Tua has the arm talent. They have the fastest receiver in the NFL, and Waddle's got to be top 10 for sure. Why don't they just run him down the sideline and let Tua just take 30 deep shots a game, and if he connects on 20 of them, they're going to win every single game. They're going to put up 70 every single game.
I do know the top 5 fastest players. Like
I think they're all in the Dolphins.
they're all on the Dolphins. Every single one of them
The
this
chain
year.
is up there.
Think
Monty's
he is.
really quick.
I think they all run those 4 guys: Waddle, Hill, Mostert, and
Braxton
Chain.
Berrios
They all
is also
run under
good,
4-5.
too.
I'm pretty sure.
I think a
Around
4-4,
there.
4-3.
Yeah.
I think Chain was like a 4-3-2 or a 4-3 even. Waddle was like a 4-3-5.
You know what's
Like
even
a
scarier with that
4-2-8 or
team?
something.
They don't even have Jalen Ramsey.
That's
He comes
right.
back.
Yeah.
Not soon, but he comes back.
That team is definitely something to watch out for. Do you
Yeah.
have anything to say about your hometown team? I didn't know we were winning, but you've been pretty quiet about it.
You talking about the Texans?
I was talking about the 49ers.
Oh, the 49ers? I mean, it's not much to say, we just do what we do. I mean, obviously, this upcoming week we play Arizona. We're not going to take them lightly after what they just did to the Cowboys. So, and then once we get past Arizona, it's down to the primetime game with the Cowboys. I think that's the game pretty much everybody is going to be tuned into, so can't wait.
How about Minnesota starting 0-3? That's crazy.
Not surprised.
I'm not really either, because it seems like they have like one good year and one bad year, and they alternate.
I mean, last year they just
I think they
just got lucky.
9 or 10 games were won by less than a possession. I mean,
Yeah. The
you're not
Colts game is
gonna
crazy
yeah,
last year, too.
you're not gonna have that luck every year. So I'm not super surprised in anything. They're not playing horribly. They're not playing fantastic. I mean, I've just viewed the Kirk Cousins end of the year simulation projections. If they take everything that he's had, it's like 6,000 yards, 52 touchdowns,
Oh,
and a
Justin
0-17 record.
Yeah. That's going to be crazy. The defense isn't even that bad either.
No, it's not. It's
That
just,
reminds me of the year where the Chargers had the number 1 offense and defense and missed the playoffs.
yeah. Oh yeah, I remember
If you
that.
guys remember that, like 2010,
Mhm.
2012, somewhere around there.
That was with obviously Philip Rivers, but that was with
That was with like not with Matthews, Rashad Matthews and
Antonio Gates.
Vincent Jackson, Antonio Gates, Malcolm Floyd.
Mhm. I forgot about Malcolm Floyd. That's a late name.
That was really late.
Well, y'all have anything else to add? I think I've
Make sure you'll be on the
I
lookout.
don't.
Magazine incoming to the local Baton Rouge area. Make sure y'all follow the Football Huddle.
Oh yeah, of course. We're posting this on YouTube every Friday. It'll be normally me and Demetrius, but sometimes we'll have a guest come in.
I'll be here probably a couple of times too.
And we'll just talk football with each other and kind of go around and see what's happening. If y'all have any questions, anything you want us to do, I mean, we're open to suggestions. We have
Yeah, submit questions in the comment section. We'll answer them next week.
yeah, of course. And if y'all want to see us do anything, I don't know, whatever we can do, we'll try to consider it and try to put in the show if it's possible. And of course, thank y'all for watching and